Hello, listeners, and welcome to today's episode of Show Me Your Stack. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Brandon. So let's welcome Brandon and see what Brandon has to shuffle up in today's Tech Stack Review. Hey, Brandon, welcome to Show Me Your Stack. I would love if you could share with the audience a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, where you're at, and then we'll jump into your tech stack.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to. So my name is Brandon Molnar, CEO and founder at StackitDigital, and soon to be launching a new company called Stack Shack as well, a little spinoff. We help companies figure out, their digital tech stack, how they're going to use it for various functions of the business. And then we also help with implementations when it comes to things around RevOps and marketing operations, especially with website and CRM.
Okay.
And so those are really, our specialties, and we like to solve complex problems. A lot of the times companies are coming to us because they couldn't figure it out themselves, or they need to fix something in their tech stack, or they're just getting started and they need to launch something more scalable for the next phase of their company. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I personally have been really excited about this episode just based on your business model, what you're doing with tech stacks, and that you actually consult on tech stacks. So, really excited to jump in and hear what you have for us today. So, with that said, let's shuffle up and see what comes up as number 5 for you.
Yeah. So, very hard to pick from these. So I just kind of put together a bunch that I think would be helpful for everyone in different use cases. My number 5 is Stream Deck paired with Zapier. So
Okay.
I have this little thing on my desk called a Stream Deck. I can kind of hold it up and show you. It looks like this. Um,
Okay. Oh,
and
it's
it's
like a
yeah, so
pad.
basically
Okay.
it sits on my desk and it can control everything within my like computer setup. And so I actually have like a little bookmark bot that bookmarks things inside of
What?
Brain. When I have like a meeting, I have like a toggle for mute or unmute. I have like a way to hide the zoom. You know that zoom thing that pops up top, and you're like,
Yeah.
how do I hide that? Right? So you could do like shortcut keys like that, and then it also like unlocks my front door. So, so
What?
for
It's
if
like
somebody
Apple.
rings the doorbell, I get a little thing. It pops up, and then I go, oh yeah, I know that person. Unlock the front door, and then it unlocks. Yeah.
All right, so let me wrap my head around this. It's like Apple TV slash Alexa slash Ring slash project management AI assistant all in one.
Yeah, it's a button. It's buttons and knobs to do anything you want digitally.
All right,
Yeah.
well, that's a new one for me. Your episode number 16. So I have not heard of that one. What do you have for us at number 4?
Okay, number 4 is a new tool to our stack. It's called Fill Out.
Okay.
And we've always been a fan of like Typeform and making custom forms in Webflow or using HubSpot in various ways. Billout though is it's a brilliant company that's recently started up, and they solved this problem of, well, on Typeform you can only have one question per thing, right? And then, well, what happens if I want to actually grab data from my CRM and display it in the form?
Right.
So they solved a ton of these problems for multi-step forms as well as just regular forms that need conditions to them or to grab from a back end and to be able to style it with your branding, right? And so that's a huge problem that a lot of people have with HubSpot or Airtable forms or Salesforce forms or anything like that. So you could connect it to any database, any CRM, uh, make sure that the forms filter that way. You can have questions conditionally show up or not show up based on other
Right.
questions, and
Right.
even log in to platforms.
That's really cool. Because it
Yeah.
like almost brings back a little bit of the simplicity of forms, like where Google Form did allow some of that customization in a very simple way, but it didn't have any intelligence behind it. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited to look
probably the
into that.
most intelligent, best form builder tool that I've ever come across because it connects to every single possible backend you could want, as well as doing all
Mhm.
the logic with unlimited design capabilities, and it's all drag and drop. So all my marketing users can use it without developers.
Right. No HTML, like Marketo forms, and love it. All
Yeah.
right. I'm looking into that right after. I literally just wrote that down. So
Yes.
thank you. What do you have for us at number three?
Number three is a tool called Markup. I'm guessing you probably had somebody already bring that up.
Nope. This is a first.
No? Okay.
All three of yours are brand new.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I tried to pick not the typicals like the HubSpot and the Zapier and the whatever, but
right.
so Markup, I love it because it's a way to do contextual feedback on anything that you want to show a client. So if you're an agency and you want to show a client either a PDF file or a website, you want like a full responsive website, you want to get feedback on the desktop version, the mobile version, the tablet, they can toggle between the different versions. They can scroll down, they can click on something, write feedback, they can mention people. It connects to your project management tool, so it can create a task for you if you want to. And then it also allows you to record Loom videos. So if your feedback is like, I don't know how to explain this, I want to just record a Loom, great. Click it, record a little Loom video, attach that to your feedback, and now you have a task that has context to it.
That's
And
really
it's a
cool.
really good way to get like websites done or a presentation deck or a PDF or even an advertisement that you're like, oh, I need feedback on this ad. So,
Right. That's really cool. I am excited to dig into that one actually. Like,
yeah.
I feel like that would be so useful, especially with how complex and rapidly growing Super's product is. Um, Thank you. I'm just
Yeah.
excited about that one.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
one actually, like my clients love that. They love that one in particular. They're like, what is this tool? Okay, we got to use this for all of our marketing stuff, all our sales decks, all our
Totally.
product stuff. So, yeah.
All right. What's at number two?
Okay, so at number two, I have something called Reloom Site Builder. And I like this for people who are really interested in like building websites or quickly and rapidly prototyping different website structures because you can build out a visual sitemap and you can then immediately get that into wireframe mode and quickly iterate on different like versions of it without having to immediately go to Figma or to Webflow or whatever. You can just easily add these new pages. You can comment on it. You can share it with your clients, and you can like in real time actually have a useful and valuable discussion around what is this website sitemap and wireframe that we're building, and really plan it out efficiently. So I really, really love the Reloom and site builder tool, as well as, they're adding new features all the time, and there's a whole library of components that you can then immediately take that and then import it into Webflow, and you have a full operating site with all your pages, right?
Hmm.
So there are these like cool things that it does in addition, but like just the site builder tool on its own is a fabulous planning tool that helps companies
Totally.
like quickly get to a website. Yeah.
I love that. Well, that's so four tools that have not been brought up at
Okay.
episode 16.
Cool.
Are you home running this? What's number
I
five?
might. I don't know. So number five is called Whale Sync. Did I
Okay.
win?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Awesome.
Is
So
it whale like whale, the whale
yeah,
and then sink?
like a
Okay.
whale.
Got
Yes.
it.
And
Okay.
then SYNK. So sync. Whale sync, one word. So
Okay.
whale sync is data syncing between two, like, so for instance, if I have like a Webflow CMS database and I
Mhm.
have Airtable, and Airtable is a much easier tool for us to manage like large amounts of data. So maybe blogs and team members and press articles, or maybe there's use cases and all sorts of stuff that you have for your site. And it's especially great if you have like a product library. So you have various products and variants, and you want to update all these things at once.
Right.
So when you're doing that in a website, you got to like click into each item, update it, okay,
Mhm.
save, next one, update, right? When you're
Right.
doing it in Airtable, for instance, it's like, oh, great, I want to update the pricing on all these. Great, click, drag, update. Okay, I want to update the data on all this stuff, update it super fast. WhaleSync sits right in between and syncs your databases perfectly in real time. So you don't
Dang.
have to set up individual zaps like in Zapier. Like when I do this, make sure it does this here. It's just you match fields and you can sync huge databases. Now, the
Okay.
cool thing is they've also added on other tools like HubSpot. So I can sync my HubSpot customer database with my maybe web app, right, database. Or I want to sync my e-commerce store with my website. And that way you can easily connect various backends and it saves hundreds of hours and it makes things possible that weren't possible before. And so it's the tool to creating really easy backend like user interfaces while
Right.
creating very complex front end experiences.
Okay.
So,
That's really cool. All right.
yeah.
5 tools I have never heard of. We have um, Stream Deck, Fill Out, Markup, Reloom, and WellSync.
Yes.
I love it. All
Yeah.
right. So, since you work in this industry evaluating tech stacks and consulting on tech stacks, and you are a tech stack wizard, you're hearing all about these things. You just brought 5 tools we've never heard about.
Yes.
What else are you hearing about that's exciting to you? Maybe it's in
So,
beta, you were asked to pilot it.
yeah, so there's a lot of cool things that have been going on with like conversational experiences. So, Drift has had some interesting, like routes into this kind of area of like, how do we actually use either AI or routing to create some better conversational experiences. And Intercom has kind of followed suit, and then there's all of these other
Right.
ones that you can do, and like IBM Watson has like a whole new way of thinking about that too. So there's like these cool things with conversations, and there's a lot of like AI stuff that goes into that.
Yeah.
The AI chatbots that are actually now going into tools that are like applications where it's like, okay, I want to take my knowledge and make it accessible to someone to help them. And I saw this actually, I'm wearing a Whoop right now, and
Okay.
there's like these Whoop AI coaches that like you can ask them questions and stuff and like have them it populates with like, oh great, like here's what we would recommend based on what you're currently going through in your data, as well as like what might be best from right what they've coached it on as like best professional advice. So there's these really cool like tools like that are popping up that I've really been more interested in digging into. I haven't really gotten a project yet where I have that, but it's
Okay.
it's pretty cool like that you
My
can do
mind
with
is
stuff.
like is spinning. I'm like, oh no, my Apple Watch is definitely getting that update at some point.
Yeah.
Like it's coming. So
Hmm.
I mean, it's literally telling me to wash. It's like wash your hands for 30 seconds, stand up,
Yeah.
run up and
Yeah.
down the stairs for 10 minutes. Like, so I'm excited to see what comes of that in a more depth conversational persona based way.
Yeah, and what I think is even more important that I mean it's just what's been in my life recently in like my working life has been a lot around education and like standard operating procedures and how do we get our people to access our knowledge and our way of doing thing in the right way. And
Mhm.
there's like super popped up like, in the last year. And it's like that is a huge like improvement to the way a lot of companies can operate. And there's all these other cool backend tools. Like I was talking about like WhaleSync. Like imagine if you could take all of your SOPs that are located wherever and sync them over to something like Super. So things like that could eventually exist where it's like we can take all of our knowledge and make it more accessible in the places we work. And
Totally.
so, like, that to me is actually the most exciting stuff because it allows, like, my expertise to become your expertise, right? Like
Right.
if you go into HubSpot and you're like, I don't know how to do this one thing, but a little thing pops up that's saying like, oh, Brandon's got like, see how Brandon did this, right? It's like,
Right.
oh, that now you become the expert. And so really handing expertise from knowledge, like knowledgeable professionals to like the actual users and making them the superheroes, like there's so many cool ways of doing that now. And like tools like Super, especially, like, I mean, I'm a fan. Like those are the things I'm most excited about. Yeah.
I love it. All right, I got one more question for you before we wrap up. So, I'm a VC. I just handed you your first round of funding. What do you create?
Man, that's a great question. If you're a VC and you handed me my first round of funding, what would I create? And I would say probably the most ridiculously awesome and fun and funny and engaging agency like platform for website building. Like, because we have all the tools and all the things to
Hmm.
build amazing websites, but and I'll tell you like a little bit with Stack Shack, which is going to be launching soon, is it is a uh, burger joint branded website template company. So we sell website templates, but we're burger branded, and they come with all sorts of fun surprises in them.
I love it.
And there's a little platform that you can log into and like see all the cool stuff with that. But like it would be taking that and putting it on like steroids to make it so that you can then take that and deploy it to all of your clients or all of your internal staff and be able to use it that way. So that's
That's
probably
really cool. With that, I have to ask, are you an In and Out or are you a Shake Shack person?
Oh, that's a great question. And I would say it depends, but for the most part, I would take the In-N-Out burger over the Shake Shack burger.
Are you
Yeah.
West Coast? Are you on the West Coast?
Yeah, I'm West Coast. Yeah.
Okay. So I am too, and so I'm like it's a constant debate in my
Hmm.
household.
Yeah.
They're actually like a quarter mile apart. So my husband is
Hmm.
a Shake Shack and I'm an In and Out, so it's just like a nonstop.
Yeah.
But as you're
Yeah.
saying
It's
that,
the
I'm like,
back and forth. I actually like Shake Shack for other things though. So, and I feel like it depends on what mood you're in or
right,
like,
right.
yeah, but yeah.
But that's as you're saying this, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, how cool you're gonna have offerings. Like debating on where I go with my website. Am I
Hmm.
a Shake Shack website? Am I an In-N-Out stand? Like In-N-Out
Yeah.
provides that it's like the J Crew, like you know what you're gonna get, but for
Uh-huh.
years they've continued to deliver. And
Yeah.
then you have Shake Shack that it's like, what's trendy? What's new? Like, are we making a new lemonade flavor this week or are we sticking with the generic? So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what you build and follow you on LinkedIn with that.
Yeah, more than anything, we hope to be entertaining. Like that's kind of what matters most to us is that the people who come and see what we do have a good laugh because we have
I
these
love
other
it.
agency businesses that help make us money. Like this is about having a good time and giving the world something fun. So,
I love
yeah.
that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. This has been really fun. Honestly, probably one of my favorite episodes I've recorded. Uh,
Go us.
so I love it. All right. Well, have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Let's shuffle up and show me your tech stack, where every episode is a high stakes reveal of the tools that are aces in our guest book, where chips are down and digital decks are on the table. Are you ready for the best in class tech? Let's deal these cards and see what comes up. Who's ready to double down on digital innovation with me?